Hi, welcome to Little Artist Academia. Today we'll be exploring the movie Luca and learning how to draw Luca in his human form. So grab a pencil, a piece of paper, and something to color with, and we'll begin. So I'm going to start by drawing a circle for his head with my pencil toward the top of the piece of paper. Actually, so I'm going to start by grabbing my pencil and drawing a loose circle for his head toward the top of the paper. Next, I'm going to sketch in where his neck will be. And then where his upper body will be with this loose shape. Then another circle. This is where his midsection is. And then we're going to draw some long ovals that are going to represent his legs and his feet. Then I'm going to draw in some long ovals for his arms, which are going to be crossed in front of him. These are two ovals for one arm. And then another couple ovals for his other arm. You can see a little bit of his hand there, so I'm going to draw a circle for that. And I'm cleaning this up just so it's easier to see. So you're only going to see part of one of the hand as it kind of tucked into this arm. And there you have a good start to his body. You have his head, his torso, his legs, his feet, his arms. And we're going to add a few more shapes for his face. So his face is actually going to be tilted a little bit this way. So I'm going to kind of draw it kind of a little bit more straight around the sides, either side, and then curved on the top and the bottom. So I'm going to draw two curves for his ears. So make sure you keep in mind, the middle of his face is going to be going at a slant. So I'm going to draw a circle in the middle of his face for his nose, and then a curve under that for his mouth, and then two circles on either side for his eyes. And I'm like looking at this, I think his ear on this side needs to be scooched down a little bit. And then I'm going to draw some shapes for his hair. So he has a little curl that comes down on his forehead a little bit. Not quite that poofed up. Something like that. And then I'll draw his irises and his pupils. And then I just need to draw his eyebrows and we'll be done with this first part. So like the first drawing of Luca, his eyebrows are thicker toward the middle and get thinner into this point, and they're at a nice curve. So it looks something like that. And there you go. So step one is done. We have the basic shapes laid out for our drawing. I can erase these lines so that we don't need them anymore. And so now it's time to add more detail. So for his face, instead of a circle for a nose, it's actually going to be kind of coming down. There's going to be these curves and then little loops, little curves here for his nostrils. And I'm going to draw a little line to show the top of his nose here. Then we can erase these other lines. And we can draw a nice curve for his mouth. And then I'll define his eyes more. So his eyes are very round. And then around the tops of the eyes, there's a bit of a darker crescent shape that makes you get the impression of like that he has eyebrows. Actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think his eyes are a little too far up his head, unfortunately. So I'm gonna have to fix that. Yeah, they actually should be more around here. So I'm gonna just scooch those down a little bit. Yep, define these better. Okay. And draw these irises, pupils, and then little circles that we're going to keep white, and those are going to be to make his eyes look more shiny. His eyebrows don't look quite right. They're a little too small. Yeah, something more like that. I'm just defining his face a little bit more. I can define his ears a little bit more. And then draw these little lines. Little curly cues, and those represent the inside of his ears. And then I can, that's right, need to draw the crescents on the top of his eyes. Like that. Then I could draw in his hair. So I think a curly cue actually comes more like around here. So he has this nice curly cue. Big curl that comes down on his forehead a little bit. And there's another curl that comes up this way a little bit. So I'm going to draw some lines to give you the impression that it's like hair. Here they curve back. And then his hair curls over to the side over here. So he has another kind of curly shape over here. It actually comes in front of his ear a little bit over here. Something like that. And then here he's like a few little curls. Some curly shape in the back. So now we're done with his head. Can move on to the rest of his body. So he has his collared shirt. And a button down. Has buttons that come down. So you're going to see a couple of buttons here and here, and a little opening, little buttonhole here. And then he has tiny little shorts. Kind of flare out a little bit. I'm going to clean this up a little bit. There's little pleats in his pants. So I draw these little lines, and I'll draw what the zipper is, like that. And then I need to draw in his arms. So he has rolled up sleeves, so I want to show a little bit of that. I'm realizing I didn't draw in where his other hand would be. So he has actually this hand that comes in like that. But that's okay. So here's the other sleeve. So it's smaller to the top, and then you have these big rolled up part because it's rolled up sleeves. I'm just gonna draw a line there to show like a pleat, a couple lines here as well for the same reason. And then I need to draw on his hands and his arms. So yeah, the proportions on him are a little interesting. His head is a lot bigger than the rest of his body. And so are his feet and his hands are particularly large. But his body is very small. So where's his hand? It's curved around. And then his other arm is going to come back under. So, and then you can kind of see a little bit of part of his hand here, but not his fingers. Clean that up. Okay, so there you go. You have his hands, his clothes, and now we just need to do his legs and his feet, which are bare. So for his legs, he has very skinny legs. I'm going to draw a little curve where his knee is. And you're gonna see a little bit of a curve out where his calf is back here. But it's still very skinny because he's a very skinny dude. If I can only get that right. Okay, there you go. And then I'm gonna draw his big feet. So there's a big curve for his big toe, and then you're gonna see like a couple of his toes, and that's really it. Clean that up. Yeah. Okay, and I'll do the other foot. So it comes in a little bit, comes out. So like with legs, it's gonna come in a little bit, pinch in a little bit, and then comes out. Of course, his proportions are not a normal person's because he's a cartoon, but same rule basically applies. And then you'll have a little boot, little bump out for his to show where his ankles are. And then it's a little tricky because this is like his foot here is angled and kind of sort of facing us. So I'm gonna draw a big curve for his big toe, and then a couple more curves for his smaller toes. And then a couple curves, you can see part of the bottom of his feet. It's gonna come in like that. Do the best you can. Feet are difficult, so are hands. It takes a lot of practice to get good at drawing them. Great job! Now that we're done with our sketch, it's time to color. So I'm going to outline everything in marker, erase all my pencil work, and then color it in with colored pencil. So there you go. That's one way to draw Luca in his human form. Thank you so much for joining us. Great job, and join us next time when we explore more of the movie Luca.